On my last video, I picked open this Chubb Cruiser and it gave me a good battle, and I did say I was going to gut it and show you what's inside. So I have drilled the rivets out, so this cover comes off now. I'll just show you it working one more time. So we can take the cover off, we can have a look what's inside it. And then I'm going to attempt at some stage to make a clear cover for it, either that or cut a section of this away and pick it so you can see what I'm actually doing. I've seen one of these inside before because Baldy-Locks, I've mentioned him in the past. He did a video showing you inside one of these. So that's the cover off. It's inside of the cover. Obviously I need to clean up all the bits I've drilled, sorry. I need to clean up all the bits that I've drilled. And then we're going to put some little screws in. We're going to fold these flat. We're going to tap them out so we can actually screw either this cover back on or a clear polycarbonate one. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. But anyway, this is inside. So, Baldy-Locks mentioned this before. Now, this is closed. So when it's open, if you want to pick it closed, it's dead easy, and I'll show you why. First of all, let me just open it up, if I can, without knocking everything out of the way. So that's open. So if you wanted to pick this closed, this lever at the front, I'll just show you. This is the lever you have to lift up, because all the other levers will probably be different. So you see that lever, when the bolt goes in, it drops down, so you couldn't close it. But if you lift that one lever up, the bolt slides out. Now if you look at all the other levers, they're already in that position to lock it back up. So it's only that one lever at the front which is preventing you locking it up, look. See, it just slides straight across. So once you've picked one of these open, if you haven't got a key, they're really easy to pick back closed because you only lift one lever up. I don't think it's always the first lever. It could be in a different order, but you'd feel around for it. So let's have a look at the levers again then. Now, if you look at the bottom of there, there's a little bit of a nick, nothing too deep, but that's, I believe, a little tiny anti-pick notch. So it could get caught in there if you lifted it too high. The second lever, again, it's hard to see because it won't focus, but you probably can work it out. There's a little bit of a groove there. And again, the bolt could get caught in there. You can feel it with the screwdriver. So that's anti-pick. Third lever, you can see that one as well. There's a little cut out there. They're very shallow, but you can see them. That's another anti-pick. They're always tricky to get out when you get to the bottom of the pile. Fourth lever, again, you can just make it out. Very shallow anti-pick at the bottom. And then the final lever, that one's a bit clearer, quite a deep one that is. One at the top. So all the levers have got anti-pick notches in them. So that's probably why it's a tricky lock to pick. Now, these other two Cruisers I've picked in the past, obviously I'm not going to gut them, so I won't really know exactly what's inside them. But these two wasn't as hard as this one to pick open. And then you've got your bolt inside, which obviously slides across, which goes into the shackle. I think that's about it. I don't think none of that comes out. That comes out. Don't know what purpose that serves. But yeah, that's the bare bones of a Chubb Cruiser. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and clean it all up, and I'm going to either make a clear cover for the front of it, or I'm going to do a cutaway somewhere in this one, and then we're going to pick it open again, but this time you'll be able to see what's going inside, or what's going on inside the lock when I pick it open. So I've cleaned up the lock, and as you can see I've also cleaned up the bench, and all I've done is I've smoothed it down and I've filed those rivets flat, and then I've drilled them out with a 3.5mm drill, and then tapped them out with a 4mm tap. So now when I put the cover on, I can just put some screws in and hold it in place. And if you look at the back, it's not disturbed any of the rivets, they're still intact. So yeah, it's come out all right, to be honest. So what did I do for the front? Well, I was going to put a clear one on it, and then I have picked locks with clear fronts on in the past, and I think they're great. It shows you what's going on inside, but I actually don't think you get the same feel as having a solid steel cover on it. So I've kept the original cover, and this is what I've come up with. That's the finished product. It's not perfect. I've not got nothing to cut this out with, so all I've done is I've drilled lots of holes close to each other, then just run a file in it and just smoothed it down a little bit. It probably could do with a little bit more filing. Oh, and by the way, you're probably looking at that bit of brass on there. I made a score by error. I cut it too short, and then when I put the cover on, this front lever was catching on the top of that, so I had to get a bit of brass. See, good, that'll save all my brass bits. Yeah, I got a bit of brass and I put it on top and actually soldered it on. Then I folded it and shaped it back so it actually looks part of the lock. But that little bit of brass is just an extension because I made a score by error and I went too low. I'll just show you what I mean. So if you do make one of these, learn by my mistakes. So put the cover back on, look. You can see that there. When that front lever went up, it was catching just on the edge of there. I'll put the screws in and I'll show you what I mean. Right. So yeah, these are just small little screws. You can get these off eBay, 4mm countersunk screws, and they actually work perfect for this lock. I'm just going to put the 4 in. There is one what goes in there, but that's just for the shackle, so we don't need to put that one in for now. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, if you actually put that one in or not. So we'll just screw the front on first. So you don't really need a load of tools to make this. Like I say, a drill to drill it all out, a file to file it, and the best tool of all, or the best kit of all, like I keep saying, is a tap and die set. You can get them cheap as chips, and the amount of things you can do with them. Well, obviously you can screw threads and tap holes, but no, they're handy to have if you're going to mess about doing anything with locks. I'd be lost without that tap and die set. I can't get my words out today. I'd be lost without that tap and die set. Oh, I don't know if I told you, I've got COVID as well, by the way. I did do a video recently telling you the wife had COVID, but I've got it now. But I feel all right. I just feel like I've got a cold, to be honest. So, yeah, if I'm stuttering with my words, I'm going to blame it on COVID. So that's it all back together now. So it all works fine, really smooth. Now, if I lift that up, you can see when that lever's lift up. Told you I was getting all my words confused. You can see that front lever caught just on the edge of where I've cut it out too low. So I had to put that brass on. But no, it all works fine now. And that's the bitting on the key like I showed you before. So, show you it working. See, that shackle's not going to come out. I've got the other screw to put in here. The other screw just goes into the top of there. But we don't need to put it in. I don't know why I'm putting it in, but I've got the other screw for it. So, yeah, it works perfect. And that's it for today. Like I say, I have got COVID. So I'm going to go back in the house and have a hot cup of tea. And then on my next video, we'll pick this open and I'll show you the levers moving and what happens when you're picking it. Because like I say, this was one tricky lock to pick. Anyway, that's it for now. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you again next time. Try it a bit.